niggas, nothing's gonna happen. So what are you rap beefing for? What is the purpose of beefing? Y'all fake beefing and y'all see each other in the club. Nothing gonna happen. Y'all see each other in the grocery store. Nothing's gonna happen, bro. I'm not even saying something gotta happen, bro. Cause I mean, shit. Don't throw your freedom away for nothing. But what's like, nigga? All this could be like, bro. Just make music, bro. I don't. Just what it do, YouTube? It's Ty Fetty with the Fetty. Back at y'all with another video, man. I know why we here to handle business, but before we handle that business, man, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'ma say it again, bro. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna say it one more. Matter of fact, like, comment, subscribe. Before I gotta beat you up, man. Look, before we get into the video, it's June 11th. Get me to 30,000 subs before July 1st. It ain't too hard to do. Y'all do that for me. I got a cash giveaway for y'all. Damn. I got a cash giveaway for y'all if y'all do that. I'm gonna pick 3 winners, bro. First place gonna get $300. Second place gonna get $200. Third place gonna get $100, bro. I'm probably gonna drop a video like July 1st or July 2nd saying comment if you want to be entered in the giveaway. I'm gonna whatever y'all comment, I'm gonna put y'all names in a little random name generator. Pick 3 names, bro. It's that simple, bro. Y'all support me, I support y'all. Y'all know how I go. With that being said, we got the Drake versus Rick Ross beef explained. I don't know where this. I've been seeing it, of course. I don't know where it's stemmed from. I don't listen to neither one of these niggas no more, bro. But they known people and they got good music, so therefore we're tapping in. Let's get it.
Drake and Rick Ross both came into the game around the same time and dropped some classic songs together. But something happened behind the scenes that made them hate each other, and now they're making diss tracks and beefing all over social media. From working on a collab album together to clowning each other on the internet, this is the full story behind the Drake vs Rick Ross beef. Drake and Rick Ross linked up for the first time back in 2010. Back then, they were 2 of the hottest up-and-coming rappers in the game. Rick Ross first blew up in 2006 off his track Hustlin', which was the lead single on his first album, Port of Miami. Ross followed it up with his second album, Trilla, in 2008, and Deeper Than Rap in 2009, which both made it to #1 on the Billboard chart. Drake first started getting some buzz in 2007 with his mixtape, Comeback Season. Then in 2009, he dropped a mixtape, So Far Gone, which took his career to a whole new level. So by 2010, Drake and Rick Ross were 2 of the biggest names in rap, and it was only a matter of time before they linked up in the studio. The first time Drake and Ross appeared on the record together was on a DJ Khaled song, Fed Up, which also featured Usher and Young Jeezy. A few months later, Drake told Double XL that Ross and him liked working together. Drake said that even if people didn't believe in him as an artist, their favorite rapper did, because anytime Rick Ross or Young Jeezy needed a hug, they hit up Drake. He wasn't lying, because Rick Ross had Drake do a feature on the song Ashton Martin Music from his 4th album, Teflon Don.
That bit was
The
fire.
song was an instant hit
Oh, my
and made
mother.
it to #30 on the Billboard chart.
That bit was
Drake
fire.
and Rick Ross clearly worked well together, and later that year, they both hop on Chris Brown's Deuces remix.
That bit was fire. Oh my
2011,
mother.
Rick Ross and Drake both hop on DJ Khaled's song, I'm On One. That's
That bitch was fire. Oh my mother. I ain't gonna lie. As a kid, bro, these niggas had the ball, bro. Drake really had the ball, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And I think it was, you don't know a lot, bro. You don't really know how to get into new artists. You don't really know how to expand your horizon. You hear what's on the radio. You hear what your people got playing in the car on the way to school. And it was this Aston Martin music. Huh. When I come back to you. God damn.
summer, Ross continued showing love to
That shit was
Drizzy,
fire.
pulling up at OVO Fest in Toronto and performing with Drake, Lil Wayne, Nas, J. Cole, and The Weeknd. So it seemed like Drake and Ross were getting pretty close. Drake even told Entertainment Weekly that they might have a collab album on the way. Drake said that Ross was the one dude in the industry he liked working with the most, so he wanted to work on a joint album as soon as they were done with their next solo records. Drake also said something similar to Double XL, but added that it was a mixtape and they were planning on calling it YOLO or You Only Live Once. Even though the YOLO mixtape never happened, Drake and Rick Ross kept making hits together. They dropped another song called Free Spirit, which is supposed to be on Drake's second album.
I don't know that one.
But it didn't make the cut and ended up coming out in 2019 on Drake's surprise compilation album, Care Package. Rick Ross is still on Take Care and had a feature on the track Lord Knows, which was another fan favorite. Drake repaid the favor by hopping on Rick Ross's track Stay Schemin' with French Montana.
That nigga said, stay scheming. Niggas trying to get at me. Yo, I'ma ride for my niggas. Stay scheming. They was on fire, bro. My mother.
The song was another massive hit.
That
Made
shit
it number
was
58
crazy.
on Billboard. Over the next few years, Drake and Ross continued to
Y'all
drop
feel
bangers.
me though?
Drake did a feature on Ross's song
Another one!
Apples featuring Wale.
God
When Chicago
damn.
Drill was taking over the world, Ross decided to do a remix of the Lil Reese song, Us, and Drake also did a feature.
I don't know that
On the
one.
track, Drake even talks about how tight he was with Ross and raps, "You know 305 Ricky, that's my fucking nigga. Did this shit right here for Baca, Preem, Styles, and Gilla. Did this shit right here for Reese, Sosa, Fredo, Dirt." When Drake's album Nothing Was the Same came out in 2013, Rick Ross also
That's
did a
when I
freestyle
stopped
over
listening to the
beat
nigga.
Hold On, We're Going Home.
I don't know that
So it
shit.
seemed like Drake and Ross had a great relationship, and they'd be making hits together for years. But after Drake got into a beef with Meek Mill, their relationship started to change. Meek Mill got his big break in music after he signed to Rick Ross's Maybach Music Group label and dropped his first album, Dreams and Nightmares. Ever since then, Ross and Meek collaborated on a ton of music and built a strong relationship. But by 2015, Ross's friendship with Meek started getting in the way of his relationship with Drake. That was the year Meek exposed Drake for using ghostwriters, and Drake responded with the classic diss track Back to Back. At first, Rick Ross stayed out of the beat, but a few months after it all happened, Rick Ross made it clear he was standing by his artist and started taking shots at Drake and Birdman. On the track Color Money from his album Black Market, Rick Ross raps, "Color Money got your bitch out on a world tour. My little homie made $1 million on his girl tour. We back to back and down to whack a nigga unborn. Miami niggas got him changing all the gun laws. So run, Forrest. Got some shooters and they dying too. I got more money than that pussy that you're signed to." The first line was an obvious reference to Back to Back. On the song, Drake raps, "Is that a world tour or your girl tour?" which was a shot at Meek for dating Nicki Minaj but being a less successful rapper. Ross then played off the name of the song, Back to Back, and let Drake know he was riding for Meek. Ross also took a bold shot at Birdman, the owner of Cash Money Records. Drake was signed to Birdman through Lil Wayne's label, Young Money Records, which is under Cash Money. So Ross was calling Birdman a pussy and claiming he has more money than him. Rick Ross and Birdman used to be cool, and they even dropped a collab mixtape together called The H, which was originally recorded in 2008 but didn't drop until 2013. But around the time Drake started beefing with Meek, Ross had a falling out with Birdman. A few days after Color Money dropped, Rick Ross went on The Breakfast Club and admitted the line of the song was about Birdman. There were even rumors going around that it might have been directed at Wayne or even Jay Prince, because Drake also had deals with them. Ross confirmed it was about Birdman, but said that the diss was about how Birdman treated Lil Wayne and didn't have anything to do with Meek Mill. Birdman and Wayne were having issues because Cash Money wouldn't let Wayne drop the Carter 5. Birdman also allegedly owed Wayne a lot of money, but wasn't letting him drop any music. Ross was tight with Lil Wayne and looked up to him as an artist, so he didn't like seeing Birdman treat his homie like that. So the situation between Drake and Meek Mill gave Rick Ross the opportunity to air out his problems with both of them. Birdman later did an interview with Hot 97 and said he didn't have a problem with Ross and didn't know where that energy was coming from. Birdman said the situation with him and Wayne was between them, and most people didn't really know what was going on behind the scenes. But Birdman also said he still had respect for Rick Ross and taught him a lot of game over the years. But Drake decided to take a more disrespectful approach. When he dropped his album Views in 2016,
Didn't listen to that shit either.
fans thought Drake was taking a shot at Rick Ross on the track Weston Road's Flow. On the song, Drake raps, "Yeah, I brought your wifey out to St. Martin. She violated. I sent her back to where it all started. How quick they are to forget about their bachelor apartment. Leave it to niggas like you to show them light in the darkness." The line seems to be a response to Meek Mill's I'm the Plug freestyle, where he raps, "You took her to an island, I fucked her on the couch. I fucked her in the studio, she never seen my house. She told me that you're lame, I told her clean you out. I got that pussy same day, she made you eat her out." But the line could also be a shot at Ross. Back in 2014, Drake flew to St. Martin with the Canadian rapper Pete Rain to film a video for his song DNF. Drake also flew out a model and former stripper named Lyra Galore to be in the video. Lyra is Rick Ross's ex-fiance and also rumored to have dated Meek Mill too. Meek did not say slept together. Ross didn't respond to the diss, but he did show his support for Meek on an episode of Drink Champs. In the interview,
Damn.
Ross said that Meek didn't lose anything and warned Drake to stop coming at his homie or he'd have to step in and get involved. Even though Rick Ross didn't respond to Drake on the record, he did have bars for Birdman. In 2017, Rick Ross dropped a brutal diss track called Idols Become Rivals. On the track, Ross admits that he used to look up to Birdman, but now he was shocked by how he was treating his artists. On the song, Ross raps, You would give us self-esteem and motivate our drive, but was in our pockets by the time we count to 5. I pray you find the kindness in your heart for Wayne. His entire life, he gave you what there was to gain. I watched this whole debacle, so I'm part to blame. Last request, can all producers please get paid? So Rick Ross wasn't holding back and let it be known that he wasn't rocking with Birdman. But when it came down to it, he didn't have the same energy for Drake. A few months later, Ross admitted that he squashed the beef with Drake. Ross said on the Best Seat in the House podcast, they had a sit down with Drake after Jay Prince set up a meeting. Jay Prince is the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records and has a lot of connections in the music industry, including Drake and Rick Ross. So he convinced both of them it was better for business for them to get over their issues and get back to making music. Ross admitted that his problem with Drake was never personal, but he just had to back Meek up since he was his artist. So it seemed like that was the end of their beef, at least for a while. In 2019, Drake dropped a 2-song EP to celebrate the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA Finals. One of the songs was Money in the Grave, which had a verse from Rick Ross. A few weeks later, Drake hopped on the Rick Ross song Gold Roses, which was the lead single for his upcoming album, Port of Miami 2. So everyone thought Drake and Rick Ross were back in the zone and had more hits to come. In early 2020, Rick Ross told Complex that their collab album, YOLO, was still a possibility. He admitted that with their touring schedule, it might be hard, but since Drizzy and him work so well together, it would be simple to get it done, so anything could happen. In 2021, Drake dropped the Scary Hours 2 EP.
I never listened to none of this shit, bro. I don't like no cap.
Which was another big hit and made it to number 3 on the Billboard chart. On the track, Drake even took a shot at Ross's ex-fiance, Lyra Galore, rapping, "Private villas only, I don't go near a resort. We want everything galore, not just Lyra Galore." But that was more diss about her than a shot at Ross. Lemon Pepper Freestyle was another big record that showed Drake and Ross could still work together and make hits. Ross even admitted that after the track dropped, he had a serious conversation with Drake about locking in to work on a collab album.
What I'm gonna tell you is after our latest, release, his incredible project he released, Lemon Pepper Freestyle, we had that conversation.
Okay.
And it's most definitely under serious consideration.
Yes.
Real talk.
NFL star Chad Ochocinco also said on Twitter that he heard some of the joint album together and claimed it would be better than any project they had done before. Later the same year, Rick Ross was featured with Lil Wayne on the song You Only Live Twice from Drake's album Certified Lover Boy. The name of the track was clearly a reference to the title of the rumored joint album, YOLO, so some fans thought it might have been a hint that the project could be in the works. For the past few years, it seemed like Ross and Drake were still pretty tight. Rick Ross went on Drink Champs in 2023 and said that he and Drake were real close.
And me and Drizzy, our relationship most definitely is real close.
Ross also admitted that he made so much music with Drake because it came so easy, and they were both in the top 2% of all writers and creators.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much music we got, because it's so easy working with the homie. It's not a lot, I'm gonna be honest. We in the 2 percentile when it come to writers and creators. It's called a 2 percentile.
In January 2024, Ross was still giving Drake his flowers. Earlier in the year,
What these
he did
niggas be
Extreme
talking
Hated
about,
Ross,
bruh?
where Ross talked about his favorite Drake collab. Ross admitted that it had to be Stay Scheming because it was such a vibe when they recorded it.
Stay scheming, I'm gonna say stay scheming.
Legendary song right
Yeah, I
there.
see it. You have
Drake,
to put that there.
Drake came out. He came out to us. He came out in the streets. He came to us when we put that record together. It was one of those vibes.
Damn.
We had the beat. He walked right in on it as we was putting it together, and he didn't wait 1 second.
It seemed like Drake and Rick Ross still had a great relationship and might even drop a collab album someday. But no one thought that only a few months later, they'd be dropping diss tracks and clowning each other on social media. It all started in March 2024, when Future and Metro Boomin dropped their album, We Don't Trust You. The song Like That had a surprise verse from Kendrick Lamar, who took shots at Drake and J. Cole. Kendrick and Drake have been sneak dissing each other for years, ever since Kendrick dissed half the rap game on the song Control, and Drake got mad about it. Drake and Metro have also been dissing each other recently. Plus, there are rumors going around that Drake and Future also had beef, but no one expected Rick Ross to jump in and become one of the main rappers going after Drake.
See, the problem I got with a lot of this shit is, bro, it ain't beef, bro. These niggas just weird. Like, these niggas don't like, even if they don't like each other, fuck y'all gotta sneak this on songs and do all this making niggas figure out, like, bro, just say I don't like the nigga, bro. Like, we doing all this back and forth tit for tat ass, like, That's why I listen to the type of music I listen to, bro, because I feel like niggas really ain't capping in they rap, bro. If they got a problem with a nigga, either they gonna handle it or they not. It's just how that go. Like, all this rap beef and dissing and like that shit's weird to me, bro. I never understood that shit. I don't like if it's a rapper who be rap beefing and shit, bro, and ain't never did nothing to nobody in their life, bro, I can't really get into that shit, bro, because if you see these niggas, nothing's gonna happen. So what are you rap beefing for? What is the purpose of beefing? Y'all fake beefing and y'all see each other in a club. Nothing gonna happen. Y'all see each other in a grocery store. Nothing's gonna happen, bro. I'm not even saying something gotta happen, bro, because, I mean, shit, don't throw your freedom away for nothing, but what's, like, nigga, all this could be, like, bro, just make music, bro. Just make music, bro.
Right after the like that
what are we getting?
Dropped,
what are we doing?
That Nav and Rick Ross both unfollowed Drake on Instagram. At the time, it wasn't exactly clear what made them all turn against Drake, but a few days before, Metro had tweeted, "Once you pick a side, stay there. Hashtag we don't trust you." So fans think Rick Ross unfollowed Drake to prove whose side he was on. After it happened, Metro even tweeted, "Everyday hustle like William, at Rick Ross." Everyday Hustle was the name of a track on We Don't Trust You that had a verse from Rick Ross. So Metro may have been just promoting the album, but some fans think Metro was shouting out Ross for choosing a side in the beef. Drake was clearly paying attention, as he responded to Nav by quoting one of his songs in the IG caption, writing, "I ain't picking up, I'm in Turks, little baby." Then, Drake got even more disrespectful with Rick Ross and invited his ex, Christina Mackey, to one of his concerts. Ross and Christina dated for about 6 months, but split up earlier in March. So when Drake made a stop in Miami on his It's All a Blur tour, he invited Christina to come as a special guest. The story was picked up by all the blogs and seemed to confirm that Drake and Ross really had beef. Then things got even more heated after Drake released his diss track Push Ups and took shots at everyone who was coming at him. A low-quality version of the track leaked on social media in April. At first, no one knew if the track was legit or if it was made with AI, but Drake's camp later confirmed the track was real. On Push Ups, Drake had a few bars about Rick Ross, rapping, "I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in. This nigga turning 50. Every song that made it on the chart, he got from Drizzy. Spend that little check you got and stay about my business." So Drake is rapping about stealing Ross's girl, but the line, "cuff her like I'm Ricky," is also a reference to Rick Ross's past as a corrections officer at a prison, where Rick Ross worked before he started rapping. Drake is also clowning Ross for being too old to rap with the rest of them and claims that Ross could only write a hit if it had a verse from him. Push Ups blew up, and fans were impressed that Drake went after everyone who dissed him, but no one expected Rick Ross to be the first to respond and how quickly he would do it. Only a few hours after Push Ups leaked on social media, Rick Ross responded with the song Champagne Moments, where he took the disrespect to a whole new level. Rick Ross starts off the track rapping, "Fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Niggas laugh until they hit with my official jab. Crack smoke is the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghostwriters, they get to floss what you could have had. Record label taking a loss. Are you in your bag? You a worker wanting the chart. Don't make me laugh." So he starts off by questioning if Drake actually wrote the response track or if it was his ghostwriters. People have been dissing Drake for using ghostwriters ever since the Meek Mill beef. After the official version of Push Ups dropped on streaming services, fans noticed that there are multiple writers other than Drake who were credited on the song, while Rick Ross was the only writer on Champagne Moments. Ross is also dissing Drake for being a worker by staying signed to a major label. Drake is big enough that he could probably go independent and still be relevant, but it might be harder for him to top the charts. According to Ross, it's really the label making all the money, not Drake, all because he wants to stay popular. On the chorus of the song, Ross also disses Drake for leaking records on purpose instead of making it an official diss track, rapping, "Niggas leaking their records when they speaking directly. If we're keeping it gangsta, when you see me, you check me." Later on the track, Ross clowns Drake for being half white, claims he stole his whole style from Lil Wayne, rapping, "Like his moves, but he never had to fight in school. Always ran. Another nigga had to write your rules. Flow is copy and paste. Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew." Rick Ross ends the verse by referencing Drake DMing his ex, rapping, "I could shoot up the block, I got pictures to paint. Let you DM my hoe, but got bitches you can't." Champagne Moments was a pretty solid diss that was full of disrespectful shots at Drake, but probably the craziest part of the song was the outro, where Ross made some wild accusations. First, Ross claims that Drake never wanted to be black and got a nose job to look more white and less like his dad. Ross also said that the reason he unfollowed Drake was because he sent French Montana a cease and desist notice and hated on his recent project. After that, Ross says that Drake has changed over the years and isn't the same dude he made those early records with. Ross tells Drake to give some of his money to Birdman, Wayne, Jay Prince, and all the people who gave him a career. Then, he ends the track by claiming Drake had some kind of plastic surgery to give him a six-pack, but something went wrong and now he has to hide it on stage. After Champagne Moments dropped, fans were looking for clues to find out if
Bro,
Rick
what
Ross
are we
was
watching,
or
bro?
just making stuff up to get at Drake. Before and after pictures of Drake's nose are going around the internet, but some people think it still looks the same. A comment from DJ Carnage also resurfaced where he claimed Drake got a fake ab surgery in 2019. Drake had posted a photo of himself with his shirt off, and Carnage wrote, "You got fake ab surgery in Colombia. You ain't fooling everybody." Joe Budden also put out a tweet back in 2016 about Drake going to see the plastic surgeon, Dr. Miami. So Drake's surgery may have been a well-known secret in the industry until Ross exposed it. Fans also noticed that some of Drake's outfits on his recent tour have been pretty strange, and he does have a lot of padding covering his abs. But probably the most shocking part of Champagne Moments was when Rick Ross claimed that Drake sent French Montana a cease and desist. One theory going around is that Drake had his lawyer stop French Montana from dropping the song he was featured on. According to TMZ, Drake was supposed to have a feature on the track Splash Bros with Rick Ross. The song was originally on the track list of French Montana's 2021 album, They Got Amnesia. But right before it came out, the situation at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival happened, and Drake was getting a ton of heat for performing. So Drake wanted to lay low and didn't want any new music to come out for a while. But according to Rick Ross, instead of just calling French Montana to explain the situation, Drake had his lawyer stop the record from coming out. The song eventually came out on French's 2024 project, Mac and Cheese 5. But instead of Drake being on the song, it was Lil Wayne. The former creative director at Apple Music, Larry Jackson, said on an episode of the Joe Budden podcast that the cease and desist was the real thing.
The cease and desist letter was a real thing. I thought that was really funny in January. But other than that, I got no dog in this race, man.
Larry Jackson is also the owner of a company called Gamma Music, a media company that works with big artists like French Montana and Sexy Red. On the podcast, Joe Budden also put out the theory that he thinks Drake might own some of Gamma Music, which could be the reason everyone is attacking him. Whatever started the beef, Drake and Rick Ross have continued to troll each other and go back and forth on social media. Ross showed up to one of his shows wearing Drake's tour merch and even gave him the new nickname BBL Drizzy. Drake responded to Ross's surgery accusations by posting a screenshot of a text conversation with his own mom where she asked him about the nose job. Drake responded by telling her where the rumors came from. The guy I did songs with, who's gone loopy off the Manjaro and hasn't eaten for days, which turned him angry and racist because he's performing at proms for money. Rick Ross clapped back by telling Drake he can't call his mom to fight his battles with a caption that said BBL Drizzy and a giant nose emoji.
But you tell your mama, white boy, you stayed out at the park too late, and you can't call her when you get in this shit. This shit too deep to call your mama.
They've also dissed each other over who has more money and who has the better private jet or bigger house in Miami. Ross has been posting about Drake non-stop ever since the beef started, and Drake has continued to respond on social media. Ross decided to double down and drop a video for Champagne Moments. In the video, Ross is sitting on a stool in an airplane hangar, which is a clear reference to his beef with Drake on social media about who had the best private jet. In the video, Ross also showed off his liquor brands, a flyer for his upcoming car show, and a Chevy Bel Air, which is another reference to when he flexed on Drake and asked if he had an old school whip like that on his IG story.
White boy, you got a Chevy, white boy? I doubt it.
Ross might have flexed too hard though, because a few weeks later, his jet was forced to make an emergency crash landing in Texas. Photos started going around online showing the jet with Ross's name on it stuck in a patch of grass near the runway. Ross even joked about it on social media after it happened, claiming that the OVO fighter jet shot them down. But even though Ross was joking about it, it seems like some of Drake's disses might have gotten to his head. Around the same time, news broke that Ross was planning a $20 million upgrade to his mansion in Miami after Drake made fun of it. Back in August, Ross bought a $35 million, 6-bedroom, 9-bathroom mansion in Miami. Apparently it still wasn't nice enough though, so now he's flexing on Drake again and throwing another $20 million into the crib. During their beef on social media, Drake shared a screenshot of DMs between him and Ross, where Drake clowned Rick Ross's house in Miami and his plane. Drake said that the house looked like he got it at a police auction and said it was on a sliver of cheesecake. He also said that Ross didn't actually own his jet and that it was just a timeshare. Drake also said that Ross was just a worker for Brett Berish. Brett Berish is the founder of Bel Air Wine, a brand that Rick Ross heavily promotes on social media. They seem to have a strong relationship, and Brett was even with Ross for the final walkthrough of his house in Miami while they were preparing for the renovations. Ross said on Instagram that he was planning on tearing down the property so he could build his dream home in the same spot. He also said that there was an empty lot next door that was for sale for $37 million and told Drake he should buy it so they could be neighbors.
But right next door, it's an empty lot. The lot, they only asking $37 million for the flat lot. And before I show it to you, you know who I love to be my neighbor.
So the trolling never stopped, and Drake had more bars for Ross on his next diss track, Family Matters. Drake took a shot at Ross on the second verse, rapping, "What the fuck I heard Rick drop, nigga? Talking something about a nose job, nigga? Ozempic got a side effect of jealousy, and doctors never told y'all niggas." The first line is a reference to Champagne Moments and how Rick Ross accused Drake of getting a nose job. In the next bar, Drake claims that Ross is on the weight loss drug Ozempic, which is causing him to act jealous. That bar didn't age well, because later that night, Kendrick dropped his response to Meet the Grams, and on the cover art was a prescription for Ozempic with Drake's name on it. Drake kept going in on Ross and continued to clown him for being a CEO and made fun of his house, rapping, "Put a nigga in the bars, let a nigga rock, kinda like your old job, nigga. House sitting on some land, but it's out there where no one even really know y'all niggas. Bitches gotta drive 2 hours before you pay them just to give them a blowjob, nigga. Must have snorted up a snowball, cause my last record deal was 400 M's. These days, that's a low ball, nigga." Drake was making a play on words about how Ross put his bars on Champagne Moments. Like he used to put dudes behind bars when he was a correction officer for a prison. He also makes fun of Ross's crib, claiming that his house is so far outside of the city that women have to drive 2 hours just to pull up. Drake also references Ross's claims of being a big-time coke dealer. Drake then says that Rick Ross must have gotten high on his own supply if Ross thinks he has nearly as much money as him. Later in the verse, Drake references Ross calling him a white boy, rapping, "Ross calling me the white boy, and the shit kinda got a ring to it, cause all these rappers waving white flags while the whole fucking club sing to it. Murder scene on your man tonight, then come to the visual with the candlelight, body after fucking body, and you know Rick reading my Miranda rights." So basically, Drake was saying that he doesn't care about the...
Let me find out Drake be snapping. That shit sound... Now, granted, it might be, like, I might not like it hearing his voice and a beat on it, but the way this nigga saying that shit fire. No cap.
Everyone who came at him is now waving the white flag.
Damn.
He also claims he's murdering all the rappers who dissed him, so Ross will have to read him his Miranda rights, which is another reference to Ross's past as a CO. Family Matters was a decent track, and Drake responded to almost everyone who had dissed him since Push Ups dropped, but it didn't have much time to settle, because Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams just 45 minutes later. If that wasn't bad enough, Kendrick doubled back the next day and dropped Not Like Us, which was an immediate hit. Rick Ross even went on Instagram Live and showed Drake that they were already playing Not Like Us at a pool party, and the crowd loved it so much, they played the song twice.
BBL Drizzy, I'm at the pool party, and they just called you a petty. You a chomo? They backed it up at the party. Come on, black boy.
The next day, Drake dropped his response track, The Heart Part 6, where he took another shot at Ross, rapping, "I'll slit your throat with the razor, and do Rick Ross air like that one flight from Malaysia." In that bar, Drake is talking about how Rick Ross's flight crash landed and compared it to Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, which disappeared from the sky back in 2017. He's also making a play on words about how cutting someone's throat would cause them to lose oxygen or air. After The Heart Part 6 dropped, Drake sounded pretty tired of the beef, and most people gave the win to Kendrick. Of course, Ross hopped on Instagram Live and clowned Drake for the weak response. Rick Ross said that Drake was down bad, and at this point, he might as well go on Maury Povich and tell his story.
Looking bad, man. You might as well go on Maury Povich and tell your story.
He also said that Drake's ghostwriters should have put more thought into his bars when he's responding to some serious allegations.
Whoever wrote that for you should have put more thought into that. White boy, it's your writers. Whatever message you translated to them, that wasn't the way they were supposed to do that.
Ross also banned Drake from his car show because there were going to be kids there.
We keeping Drake away from the car show because the kids are welcome. Nobody with that background, no, shall be allowed on the
This nigga trolling, bruh.
So it doesn't seem like Rick Ross is letting up on the disses anytime soon, but he may have a new enemy to go after now since the Game stepped in and showed his support for Drake. After Ross clowned Drake, the Game went on IG and wrote, "It's quiet today. Wingstop must be closed on Mondays." And it be the fat niggas with the skinny legs always running their mouth. Rick Ross owns a bunch of Wingstop franchises, so it's pretty obvious who the Game was dissing. But if that wasn't enough, the Game also posted an AI-generated image of Rick Ross in a police uniform running with a bucket of fried chicken under his arm. The game didn't stop there, and a few days later, he dropped a full Rick Ross diss track called Freeway's Revenge.
Like, this the shit I be talking about, bro. Like, these niggas don't even got no problem with this nigga, and he just want to insert himself into something. Like, that's why I don't listen to industry niggas, bro. I don't care to be... I don't care to be like... If I ever blow up all the YouTube shit, I don't care to be in them rooms. Like, this shit goofy to me, bro. Like, what are you, like... Niggas just trying to be relevant, bro, and just have, like... Nobody cares, bro. Like... Nigga protecting Drake, like he stepping in for Drake like he his father or something, bro.
Freeway is a reference to Freeway Rick Ross, the real drug kingpin that Rick Ross allegedly stole his whole identity from. On the track, the game took some pretty brutal shots at Ross, rapping, "You 12 lemon pepper wings from a heart attack. Academics, give this nigga an Ozempic starter pack." The game also dissed Ross for stealing his name from Freeway Rick Ross and jacking his whole style from Biggie Smalls, rapping, "You stole your name, I pulled your file. You looked at Big and stole his style. I smell pussy, that odor foul. You ain't sold no birds, you trolled the owl." The owl line is a reference to the OVO logo.
That shit was alright though.
Sold cocaine.
Damn.
Fans were pretty confused about why the game decided to hop into the beef.
Because he dick riding, bro. He dick riding.
As a West Coast rapper, most people expected him to root for Kendrick, but Drake and the game have worked together in the past and seem to have a good relationship. But the game has also worked with Ross in the past on tracks like Ali Boom Aye. Rick Ross did not respond to Freeway's Revenge on wax, but he did laugh at the game on social media and claimed that he must be starving while holding up a big Louis Vuitton bowl.
Nigga starving.
Nah, for real. That bitch need to eat.
The game then responded by posting a photo of his own Louis V punching bag and wrote, "He wanted all the smoke a week ago. Chicken legs can't go bar for bar, so we going LV for LV now, I guess. I hate these rap niggas." Rick Ross seems pretty unbothered, so he probably...
That was great drag. I must admit, that was a hell of a comeback. Hell of a clapback.
probably won't be dropping a diss track about the game anytime soon, but it's tough to tell if his beef with Drake is officially over.
Hell of a clapback.
Not long ago, Drake and Rick Ross was talking about making a collab album together, but now they're at each other's necks, and the hate seems to be intense.
I ain't gonna lie, I did not know all that was happening, bro. I probably would have listened to all the songs in order, reacted to them, and some more shit. That shit crazy. I missed a good opportunity, bro. No cap, because I'm not going back to listen to them now. It is what it is. That shit was cool, though. I learned some things. They had some good music. Rick Ross won to me. I like the trolling. The trolling gets me going. I don't care. All that bar fighting and rap dissing, and fuck that. Get the trolling on the gram. That shit is entertaining. And Rick Ross is like a big ass kid. That nigga, but the game came out of nowhere, made a diss song, defending Drake. That nigga Rick Ross got on the gram and said, "That nigga must be hungry." He said, "Buddy is hungry. That nigga need to eat. He trying to get paid." You with me? With that being said, man, it's Ty Fatty with the Fatty, man. Make sure y'all get me to 30K before July 1st, bro. Giveaway, cash. Y'all don't gotta do nothing for it. It's free bread. Just hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Make sure y'all stay smart, stay dangerous, and I'm gonna catch y'all next time, man. I'm gone.